Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Week 7 is upon us, so it is time for my weekly NFL predictions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And with that being said, let's get to my Week 7 NFL predictions. Alright, and to start the video off, we're going to discuss some changes that I am making to the prediction videos. So from now on, I'm only going to be talking about key games, so just games that have to do with teams that have positive records and just games that are more entertaining, because I know nobody wants to really talk about the teams that are 1-5 versus 1-5. Those games are kind of just dull. So I will still mention those games, and we will still talk about those scores and stuff, but I just won't go as in-depth on those ones as the other games that are a lot more exciting. Also, for my prediction slides, I will be changing it so it will be about 1 to 3 bullet points instead of just going on and droning on. However, if there is a game or a team that you would like me to discuss, make sure you do leave those in the comment section down below. Okay, and now let's get to my previous week recap. So yeah, not much to be said. A lot of the games just did not go my way. Like the Jets did not expect the Packers to just shit themselves like that. The Colts, I didn't expect them to come guns blazing like that against the Jaguars, especially because the Jaguars just shut them out. So definitely weird. Dolphins, injuries, even the Niners. I did not expect the Niners to do as poorly as they did. But yeah, Giants beat the Ravens. Yeah, I did not expect the Ravens to be as poor as they were. Especially, they keep getting these leads and they keep blowing these leads, so it's definitely not great. I think the biggest upset of the week was Steelers and Buccaneers. How did the Steelers beat the Buccaneers? I don't think we will ever have a definitive answer. I think they just wanted it more, and the Buccaneers definitely did not come to play. Rams typically beat the Panthers, so definitely not surprised about that. Seahawks beat the Cardinals. So as you guys know, I'm a big Seahawks fan, but yeah, I did not expect the Cardinals to absolutely just not come to play in this game. It was crazy how unprepared they were for this game, both offensively, and I would say definitely their defense did show up at times, but yeah, I did not expect them to only score 9 points and only 3 offensive points. Yeah, Bills beat the Chiefs. That was a great game. If you didn't watch that game, you definitely missed out. Hopefully we get that rematch in the playoffs, but yeah, Eagles and Cowboys, definitely. I was not surprised the Eagles did what they did. It definitely just wasn't surprising whatsoever. Cowboys definitely came back down to earth. Cooper Rush threw 3 picks, so kind of understandable. And lastly, Chargers beat the Broncos. That was the worst game of the weekend, in my opinion. Actually, that's a lie. Cowboys Bears, that was the worst game. But yeah, Chargers did not score very many offensive points. I don't think they scored a single throwing touchdown. I think I read that Justin Herbert threw 57 times and had no touchdowns. So kind of crazy. Russ, I just don't know what they're doing anymore. But with that being said, so yeah, like I said, I was 7-7 on the week, and yeah, so not much has changed. Week 6, as of week 6, I'm 49, 44, and 1. So yeah, positive. Okay, now let's get to my weekly NFL rankings. This one will be as controversial as it always is. So we'll start with number 5. I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are really good. Their offensive line still isn't blowing me away. I think Joe Burrow has been sacked 22 times so far this season in the first 6 weeks of the season. So definitely not great, but I think their offense is super dynamic, super good. And even their defense is surprising me, definitely, especially against the Saints. The Saints were only getting field goals, but every single time the Bengals were going down, they were getting touchdowns. And yeah, that's the reason they came back in that game, in my opinion. Next, we have the Giants. Yeah, I don't know what the Giants are with Daniel Jones, but Saquon's looking great, and their defense is super good. I did not expect Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon to be as good as he is, but he kind of sealed that game away, and I saw him in tears. I feel for that guy. I am an Oregon Duck fan, so yeah, it meant a lot to me for him to be great in the NFL. Definitely felt good. Next, I have the Chiefs. Chiefs lost to the Bills, but I think if Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw that pick, I think they beat the Bills, in my opinion. Their defense is just nothing to write home about, but yeah, other than that, I think the Chiefs are great. Next, I got the Bills Bills look great for sure. I think the Bills are the team to beat in the AFC as of right now. Hopefully, they don't do what they did last year. After they beat the Chiefs, they kind of just shit the bed, lost a lot of games. I hope they continue to be the best team in the AFC. And if they can get home field advantage, I think they have a great chance of going to the Super Bowl. So keep an eye on the Bills. And number one, obviously the Eagles. I think their biggest test was the Cowboys, and they showed that they are not afraid of the Cowboys and look really good. And the Eagles' schedule is very, well, not very, but pretty easy, I would say. So I think they have a great opportunity to get the 1 seed. So I think the playoffs will go through Philly, and hopefully the playoffs go through Buffalo as well. All right, these are the teams on their bye for the week. So we got the Buffalo Bills, LA Rams, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, just none of these teams are playing this week. All right, and these are just the predictions that we won't be discussing too in depth. So Thursday Night Football, we have the Saints against the Cardinals. Personally, I have the Saints winning 31-27. In the early window games, we're going to talk about all of them, so none in that category. And in the late window of games, I have the Raiders versus the Texans. I have the Raiders winning. Texans' offense has been a little bit better, but yeah, definitely got the Raiders in that one. Okay, now let's get to the early window of games. The first game we're discussing is the Atlanta Falcons at the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Falcons, I think they have a great offense. Their defense is definitely less to be desired, but they held the 49ers to 14 points. I'm not sure how great that is, but we'll see in the long run. I think Marcus Mariota definitely still has a future in the NFL. I still think he's great, and I'm all for Marcus Mariota. Like I said, I'm an Oregon fan. I'm going to be rooting for him every single time he's on the field. And Kyle Pitts, I just think they need to incorporate him as much as you can in this offense. I think he's one of the best players on their offense. So, yeah, give me more Kyle Pitts. As for the Bengals, I was kind of blown away last week against the Saints because the Saints kept driving it down the field, but only getting field goals. So every single time the Bengals drove it down the field, they were getting touchdowns. That's why it was a very high-scoring game, and that's why the Bengals definitely came back in that game. So yeah, I was super impressed with that. I think they need to continue to prioritize Jamar Chase. So like I always say, do jet sweeps, do anything you can to get Jamar Chase the ball. He is so dynamic and so damn good. So keep that up. And like I mentioned earlier, it was 3 more sacks last week, 22 on the year so far. And yeah, they just need to continue to protect Joe Burrow because he's the face of this franchise and the only way they're going to be winning. So I definitely have the Bengals in this one. Bengals 31, Falcons 30. I have this game being very close just because the Falcons offense is pretty good. But yeah, I'm rooting for the Bengals in this one. All right, and our next game is the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. So Lions just came off a bye week, so they should be refreshed and they should have time to recover from that absolute barn burner that they had against the Patriots where they did not score a single point. I think they just need to go back to the fundamentals and get their high-powered offense back on track, and I think they can do that. Their defense definitely needs to be focused on. I just don't feel like their defense is very good, in my opinion. As for the Cowboys, Dak is back, so I think they will be very, very good with Dak back. I hope he is fully healthy, as he has been saying. Even though 2 weeks ago they said he couldn't even grip a football, but oh well, we'll see. I am very excited to see what Dak looks like. Defense definitely does look top 5, so I am definitely worried for the Lions in this one, but Lions have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, so hopefully they can do something. And too many self-inflicted penalties. They are the most penalized team in the NFL right now. I think the Seahawks are close. But anyway, they just need to stop getting penalties. It's that simple. They need to be much more disciplined. That being said, I do have the Cowboys winning this one. Cowboys 31, Lions 27. I find it very hard to believe this game won't be high scoring, but at the same time, I would not be surprised if the Lions do not score 27 points because, like I said, top 5 defense from Dallas. Okay, and our next game is the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. So the Colts, their offense looks great. It looks definitely much more improved than the first few weeks of the season. Matt Ryan, he just needs to continue to make plays. I know he was extremely frustrated with this team, but yeah, like I said, as of right now, they are looking a lot better. Next, Jonathan Taylor, they need him back ASAP. If they can get the RPO going on this team, they definitely could be a playoff team. Next, let's move on to the Titans. They are back from their bye week. So like I say typically with bye weeks, you have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. So I definitely expect you to come and play hard. They definitely usually own the Colts. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, like I said, they own the Colts. So I would be surprised if the Colts win this one. Yes, exactly. Next, Derrick Henry. I think he is looking a lot better than he did in the first few weeks, and I think he is definitely making more of an impact. So continue to feed King Henry. I definitely have the Titans in this one. Titans 27, Colts 24. Pretty tight game, but yeah, I definitely have the Titans in this one. Okay, our next game is the Green Bay Packers at the Washington Commanders. So the last 4 games have been super bad offensively for the Packers. I just don't understand what they're doing. I know they don't have a true number 1 wide receiver, but they have two great running backs, so I'm not sure why they're not scoring more points, but it is what it is. I think Rodgers needs to return to his MVP form as soon as possible, because they will not be good without Aaron Rodgers playing like an MVP. Next, the running back, like I just said, the running backs need to be prioritized more. They need to be in the passing game. They need to be running the ball more. Just figure out more ways to get the running backs involved. Next, let's talk about the Commanders. So Wentz is injured, so Taylor Heinicke is coming in, and Taylor Heinicke is a very, very good backup for this team. This team definitely rallies to Taylor Heinicke, so I would be very surprised if this game was not somewhat close. Their defense needs to continue to play well. They did play well last week. I just need to see that more consistently, and I think they can do it. And absolutely run the ball more effectively. Their run game is just not great. They did have I think 1 week where it was good, but they need to have that more consistently. And this is my first upset of the week. I definitely have the Commanders winning this one. Commanders 20, Packers 17. I'm very skeptical on this one. Like I said, I'm going out on a limb. This is an upset call, but I'm going with the Commanders. Okay, our next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. So Buccaneers, they need to figure out the running game ASAP. Yeah, I understand they lost Rojo in the offseason, but still, they have Leonard Fournette. They need to figure out their run game as soon as possible. Their offense needs to stay on the field more because their defense is just getting absolutely gassed out there. It is insane how little offense they have in the first half of these games. And Tom Brady needs to be Tom Brady. I need Tom Brady to step up and act like the 7 Super Bowl QB that he is. I just need to see more of that. As for Carolina, I think PJ Walker will be the starter this week again. And yeah, I think PJ's I hate hating on it, but I think he's just average. I'm not blown away by anything on this team. And next, I know they are looking for trade partners for Christian McCaffrey, but as long as he is on your team, use him in the passing game. Figure out more ways to incorporate him in the passing game, and figure out more ways to get Christian McCaffrey the ball, because it's very difficult to get this man on the ground. So yeah, feed Christian McCaffrey. Next, I think they just need to trust their QBs to make those throws, because PJ Walker, I don't think he even threw for 100 yards, or maybe it was barely over 100 yards last week. They need to figure out a way to get PJ Walker going, and yeah, I definitely think that will be a recipe for success. However, I got the Buccaneers winning this one, getting back on track for the Bucks. Buccaneers 24, Panthers 17. Yeah, definitely got the Buccaneers in this one. I would be surprised if the Panthers scored over 17 points. Okay, our next game is the New York Giants at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Giants, they're looking damn good right now. They need to continue to run the ball with Saquon, continue to just pound the ball away in the run game. They definitely need to figure out how to make Daniel Jones more comfortable, because I just don't think their passing game is scaring anybody, and I don't think he throws for very many passing touchdowns. So yeah, they definitely need to figure out their passing game. As for their defense, continue to play well. Like I said, Kayvon Thibodeau, I was super impressed. I can't name too many people on their defense, unfortunately, but yeah, like I said, their defense looks much improved. Next, let's talk about the Jaguars. So Jaguars just need to figure out what was working in their wins and reincorporate that to now, because I'm just not seeing any of that working anymore. As for Trevor Lawrence, I just need him to continue to make plays. Go back to what was working and get this offense back on track. Similar to what I have written here, the run game. The run game needs to show up. You have Travis Etienne. You spent a first-round pick on this guy. I know he's technically a rookie just because he was injured all of last season. But yeah, they need to reestablish the run. That being said, I'm on the Giants wagon right now, man. I got the Giants winning this one. Giants 23, Jags 20. I would be surprised if this game wasn't close, but yeah, definitely got the Giants in this one. Okay, next game we're going to discuss is the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. So, Browns, run the damn ball. That is the key to success for this team. Jacoby Brissett needs to be made into a game manager, and that is it. He needs to make some throws, but you can't put him in a position to have to make the throw because he can't do it, unfortunately. He is, unfortunately, a backup, and it's just plain and simple like that, unfortunately. Like I said, I always hating on people, but we just need to figure this out. Next, defense. The defense needs to figure out why they can't stop anybody. You have the leading sack leader in Cleveland Brown history in Myles Garrett. I don't understand how they can't stop anybody, but I hope they figure it out. Next, the Ravens. Ravens, how do you continue to blow these leads? I don't understand. I'm not saying your defense is bad, and I'm not saying your offense is bad. I think you are a perfectly well-rounded team that I like to root for, but you keep blowing these leads. You keep getting up high and just squandering everything away. So you need to figure that out, and you need to figure out how to maintain your leads. Keep your foot on the gas. So yeah, their run game is very non-existent. I think this team is almost too Lamar-centric. They need to figure out more playmakers, especially in the run game, to make it so Lamar is not carrying the entire team on his back every single week. And yeah, and also Lamar needs to learn when the play is dead. There are certain times where you can just fall over, hold the ball, don't lose the yardage, but do not lose the ball, and do not just yeah, that's kind of it. Don't lose the ball. You can lose the yardage, but do not ever lose the ball. And I just think he needs to realize that. But I do have the Ravens winning this one. I got the Ravens 27, Browns 17. I'm just not impressed with the Browns enough to give them more than 17 points. So yeah, I'm definitely giving the Ravens the benefit of the doubt on this one. All right, and our next game is the first game in the late window that we will be discussing. It is the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos, and thank God Denver is not playing a primetime game again, at least this week. Gosh, it just blows my mind how Denver was playing so many primetime games in the first 6 weeks. Anyway, so for the Jets, the run game just needs to be prioritized, in my opinion. If they continue to prioritize the run game, I think this team is going to be a frisky, sneaky playoff team. So we'll see about that. And Zach Wilson, just continue to play mistake-free football, and I think this team can just run the ball to wins. As for the Broncos, they need to figure out what the hell they're doing on offense, because their offense is ass, and I feel so bad for their defense because their defense is so good. And Russ needs to do anything at all. I think they said he threw for, 17 yards in the second half, something like that. I don't understand how Russ has fallen off a cliff so damn hard. It just doesn't make sense to me. And as for the last point, I don't know what they're doing in the run game. I don't know if anybody saw the interview with Melvin Gordon, but he was livid that he was not participating in the second half of that game, especially against his former team. Like, you'd expect him to play extremely hard against his former team because it's almost a revenge game for him. And they didn't use him at all in the second half. And especially, I had him on my fantasy team, so I got absolutely screwed over because he only went for, I think it was 0.8 points on the week. What are we doing, Denver? You got to worry about me. I'm cutting Melvin Gordon after this week because to me, it looks like he's about to get traded. That being said, I got the Jets in this one, guys. Jets are looking dang good right now, and I'm very, very impressed with the Jets right now. I got the Jets 20, Broncos 19, but definitely the Jets in this one. All right, our next game is the Seattle Seahawks at the LA Chargers. So Seahawks defense looked great last week. We need that defense to show up every single week, okay? and we'll be good. Offense didn't look great last week, but they just need to continue to find ways to get DK and Tyler Lockett the ball. They are your most dynamic playmakers as receivers, so figure out how to get them the ball, and I think this team can shine bright. As for the run game, so I was a little skeptical of after Rashad Penny got injured, but Kenneth Walker looked so good, and I am so happy for him. As a rookie, he's coming in, and he just looks great, man. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can continue what he did last week. And yeah, hope we see more Kenneth Walker. As for the Chargers, so it was a very poor offensive showing last week, but it was against a really good defense in Denver's defense. However, they are just so injury riddled. It is insane. And I feel so bad for this team because it definitely felt like this could have been their year, but hopefully they can get some of these players back. Just not looking great. And their RPO needs to be developed more. Just incorporate more passes to the running back. It's that simple. Just get things going so Justin Herbert is not under duress constantly. That being said, you guys know the deal. I don't bet on my Seahawks. At least not after week 1. I just find it. The Seahawks find a way to humble me almost bi-weekly. So they'll figure out a way to do it this week. I have the Chargers winning this one. Chargers 31, Seahawks 24. But yeah, very sad day. And our next game is the Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers. So Mahomes just needs to play mistake-free. He's kind of just too free and loose with the football sometimes, and it works against some teams sometimes, but he needs to ring it in sometimes, okay? And just like for a lot of these other teams that I've discussed, RPO, establish the run-pass option. I don't understand how it gets taken out of your formula. You need to be able to run the ball so you can pass the ball. It's that simple. As for the defense, they kind of just need to step up. Chris Jones is good, but I'm just not blown away by anybody else on this defense. Yeah, it's just kind of lackluster right now. They need to figure it out ASAP. As for the 49ers, Jimmy G needs to stop turning the damn ball over. Jimmy, what are we doing, bro? I don't understand. And absolutely no running game whatsoever. I'm just not seeing a running back at all on this San Francisco 49ers team, and it is awful. So they need to either go get somebody or figure out what they're doing, because Jimmy G and this offense is getting cooked out there right now. That being said, of course I got the Chiefs in this one. I have the Chiefs winning 35, 49ers 24. I just find it very hard to believe the Chiefs lose in this one, in my opinion. Okay, and our next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Miami Dolphins for Sunday Night Football. So, Steelers. Hopefully, Kenny Pickett is cleared to play. I know he was in concussion protocol, but I'm not sure how long that will last. It was a great offensive showing last week. They definitely were staying on the field, which was great for their defense, which is injury riddled right now. So they need to just continue to stay on the field offensively and definitely establish a run. You have Najee Harris. Najee Harris, I think he's decent. So, continue to just establish the run. As for the Dolphins, Tua's back. Thank goodness. I think this team will get back on track with Tua back. So, like I said, Tua's back. I expect this team to go back to being as good as they were before Tua got injured. Their offense plays well, and yeah, I think if their offense plays well, their defense will play well. It's just that simple. It's really easy for this team, in my opinion. I have the Dolphins winning this one. Dolphins 34, Steelers 21. I'd be surprised if the Steelers got to 21. I'll be 100%, but especially if Kenny Pickett doesn't play, but we'll see. And finally, we are on to Monday Night Football. It is the Chicago Bears at the New England Patriots. So the Bears, they need to figure out how to protect Justin Fields. If there's any offensive linemen that are just sitting on their couch, not doing anything, and need a team, I say just sign them to the practice squad and just see what they got, because nothing can be as worse as what they have right now, in my opinion. He's just so pressured every single time, and it makes it so he throws the ball so poorly because he's genuinely seeing ghosts out there, and it really sucks. And like I have written here, Fields just needs to make better passes. That starts with the offensive line. If he stops seeing ghosts, I think Justin Fields could be top 15 quarterback. That's what I'm saying. And another thing, no turnovers. This team turns the ball over way too damn much. They need to stop that immediately. Now for the Patriots, Bailey Zappi, man. What the hell? Bailey Zappi looks great as their starter, and I think they need to keep him as a starter until he starts playing poorly. And then we can cross that bridge when we get there. But as of right now, Bailey Zappi's the starter, and I would not change a single thing on that in that regard. And just keep the offense simple for Bailey Zappi. And I think this team is going to be pretty decent. Their defense is already great. And yeah, like I have written here, defense continue to play lights out. And I think this team will be very good. That being said, of course, I have the Patriots winning this one. Patriots 27, Bears 10. I find it very hard to believe that the Bears will score very many points on this Patriots defense. And with that, we will conclude my Week 7 NFL predictions. Tell me what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. Let me know all of it in the comment section down below. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.